Detroit can't get it done. What do they need to get? Starting tonight. Actually, this afternoon. Day baseball at Comerica Park. The Hens get a big victory, but lose the day game this afternoon. What's new? The Kings pick up a big victory. A much needed victory. And now get 2 days off before they continue on for Game 2. California Chrome goes for the Triple Crown on Saturday. But one thing's for certain. We have a sweep!
Indian Fever.
Throwback Thursday!
Fire with everyone. Indian Fever. You can be part of the fun. You're the winner at every game. That's where the excitement begins. So catch Indian Fever. Be a believer with the Cleveland Indians.
It's a beautiful day for baseball!
Indian Fever. It starts from the very first inning. Indian Fever. Each game is a brand new beginning. It's the hits, the homers, the double plays. It's how you feel when we win. So catch Indian Fever. Be a believer with the Cleveland Indians.
The Indians get a sweep over the defending champions! Oh, I love you guys, and welcome into this Thursday, June 5th edition of Andy Alfred production right here. Your exclusive home for me, Clay Fan 23. I am your host, Andy Alfred, welcoming you into the Man Cave Studios, welcoming you into this beautiful, gorgeous afternoon outside right now here in Toledo, Ohio, in the Man Cave Studios, in Studio 71. And before I begin, I'd like to say hello, ladies. It is a pleasure to be with you on the program. First and foremost, before we begin, I'd like to thank my guest yesterday, Nick DeVera, again, for coming on the program, giving his insight and so much more. We conflicted a little bit on interest in what we think that was going to happen towards the deadline, and also what your questions as well too. We'll have Nick on again towards the All-Star game break when the MLB All-Star game will be happening, so we can recap our first half predictions and our second half predictions and our first half recaps. So we'll get into that. But first and foremost, since yesterday we had Nick DeVera on, we did not fully recap what happened Tuesday night on the Diamonds. So let's start with that. Tuesday night, the Indians were a winner 5-3 over the Boston Red Sox. Nick Hagenow gets the win. He goes down to 1-0 with a 0 ERA. Jake Peavy, the former starting pitcher for the Chicago White Sox, he goes to 1-3 with a 4.72 ERA. Xander Bogaerts hit his 5th home run of the season. Allen gets his 5th save of the season at Progressive Field. Then last night, of course, the late game starting up at about 9:45, 10 o'clock. In Cleveland, after the long rain delay, the Indians picking up a big victory off of an Asdrubal Cabrera walk-off home run in the 12th inning, and the Indians picking up a big victory, 7-4. Carrasco gets the win. He goes to 1-3 with a 4.97 ERA. Moran gets the loss. He goes to 2-2 with a 7.29 ERA. Big Papi David Ortiz homered his 13th of the season, but Asdrubal Cabrera getting his 5th home run of the season, a walk-off game-winning home run as the Indians won 7-4. The Tribe is off today. They'll take on the Texas Rangers in the ballpark in Arlington starting Friday. It will be Hugh Darvish, 5-2 with a 2.08 ERA. He'll take on Trevor Bauer, who is 1-2 with a 3.63 ERA, 8:10 start time on Friday. We'll break down that series for you and preview it starting tomorrow on All Andy Alfred. On the opposite end of the lake. Detroit. What do we need to do? This bullpen is horrible. What we've seen in these last 2 games is pathetic. And we have the Red Sox coming in next. After being swept 3 games by the Tribe. I bet you they're going to sweep us in 3. Sweep us in 3, and I'm going to have to play that Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond because of that. But, yeah, Tuesday, Joe Nathan. Really? Did we just put a white version of Papa Grande? Did we just re-sign him? Unbelievable! Joe Nathan is pathetic. Pathetic! He goes down. He got the loss on Tuesday. 2-2 with a 6.86 ERA. McGowan gets the win for Toronto. He goes to 3-2 with a 4.40 ERA. As the Blue Jays won 5-3. Kidding. Johnson gets the save, his 9th of the season. Bert Lowry homered his 9th of the season. J.D. Martinez had his 3rd home run of the season as well, too. But yesterday, R.A. Dickey. You think that maybe Porcello might pull one out. He's been one of our star pitchers so far this season. Verlander having his struggles as of late. Scherzer not being great. Porcello being good. Smiley, send him down. Send him down. No. Sanchez, good. I like Sanchez. Yeah, he's halfway decent. But Porcello yesterday got ripped. He got ripped. And the Blue Jays won 8-2. Porcello gets the loss. He goes down to 8-3 with a 3.69 ERA. R.A. Dickey gets the win. The knuckleballer gets the win. He goes to 6-4 with a 4.25 ERA. Miguel Cabrera homered his 11th of the season. Ian Kinsler his 5th. Melky Cabrera hit the homer that I just was shocked that he hit that one out of the ballpark. His 9th of the season as well. Then this afternoon, the Tigers will get into action. They'll take on Justin Verlander. We'll have Justin Verlander on the ace of the staff. 6-4 with a 3.99 ERA, taking on Half, who is 4-2 with a 4.10 ERA. Friday, like I said, the Tigers will welcome in the Boston Red Sox into Comerica Park. They're all going to be night games at Comerica. De La Rosa on the hill for Boston. He's 1-0 with a 0 ERA. He'll take on Drew Smiley, who's 2-4 with a 4.10 ERA. And I just have a feeling Poppy's just going to go to town on Smiley. I just have that feeling. The Red Sox team's going to go nuts on our pitching staff. Saturday will be John Lester on the hill. He'll take on Max Scherzer, 7:05 start time on that one. Sunday, the concluding game, that game on ESPN. It will be John Lackey versus Anibal Sanchez, 8:07 start time for that one. Wednesday scores from around the league. Seattle was a winner 2-0 over the Atlanta Braves. San Diego 3, Pittsburgh 2. The Oakland A's, Nick's team that he's predicted to win it all this year, beats the Yankees 7-4. Washington 8, Philadelphia 4 in a rain-shortened game. Miami was a winner 5-4 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Miami getting a big win and continuing their winning streak in interleague play. San Francisco 3, Cincinnati 2, Baltimore 6, Texas 5. The Cubbies were a winner 5-4 with the New York Mets. The Angels of Anaheim were a winner 4-0 over the Houston Astros. Minnesota 6, Milwaukee 4. St. Louis was a winner 5-2 over the Kansas City Royals in extra innings. How about this score for you? Arizona putting up 16 runs against the Colorado Rockies in the Mile High City as they won 16-8, and the White Sox getting a big win 2-1. Now going into this afternoon's games, this is what the standings look like. The Detroit Tigers are 31-24, 3-7 in their last 10. They're still leading the AL Central Division. Chicago is now one game above 500. They are 31-30. 3 games! 6-4 in their last 10. 3 games out of first place. Cleveland, the Windians, they're 30-30 with 3.5 games out, 6-4 in their last 10. My prediction might be coming true. The Indians might make a rally. They might make a rally here. It's going to be very, 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 very interesting. Minnesota's 28-29, 4 games out, 5-5 in their last 10. Kansas City's 28-31, 5 games out, 4-6 in their last 10. Detroit. they're falling apart, and this is not good. The bullpen is what's killing it. Offensively, they can't get any hits. Defensively, they're giving up a lot of runs. That's not good. I mean, yet alone, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then what, on Monday, they didn't play on Monday, but they've given up 15 runs in the span of 2 games against this Toronto team. It's a very, very good Toronto team, has a legitimate chance to win the division. Give me a break. We should be rolling over this team. But they're not getting it done. They are not getting it done. They are not getting it done. You know who is getting it done? The Mudhens. Tonight, also, by the way, MLB Draft, 6 o'clock on MLB Network. We'll see what happens with that. Nick was talking about that a little bit yesterday on the program. But yesterday, the Mudhens were... let's talk about what happened Tuesday. The Mudhens were a winner 5-4 over the Buffalo Bulls. Actually, the Buffalo Bison. Bulls are the Mid-American Conference team that Bowling Green always beats in football. But the Bisons were a loser 5-4 Tuesday night. Wheeling gets somebody goes to 2-0 with a 0.96 ERA. Tapera gets the loss for Buffalo. He goes to 2-2 with a 2.63 ERA. Johnson and Marcarani homered for Buffalo. Hernan Perez had his second of the season in Buffalo on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, the Mudhens played a long game Wednesday night as they took on the Buffalo Bison. And they got a 1-0 victory off of a Wade Gaynor home run. His first with the Mudhens. First professional big knock. Hardy gets the win. He goes to 3-2 with a 2.76 ERA. Verandas gets the loss. He goes to 0-1 with a 5.63 ERA. Miller gets the save. His 4th of the season. No home runs and no runs period for Buffalo yesterday evening. And now this afternoon and this morning, actually, this game has officially now have gone final. I'm looking at this right now. The Hens were a loser today, 5-2. Hessman went 0 for 4. He is not going to break the record today, folks. McGuire gets the win. He goes to 2-0 with a 2.29 ERA. Vergaden will get the loss for Toledo. He is now 3-6 with a 4.04 ERA. Jordan Lennerton had his second home run of the season. Just a Mike Hessman Jr. with longer hair. Karusky gets the save, his 6th of the season in front of 15,000 at Coca-Cola Ballpark. 2 hours and 38 minutes took to play the game. So after the Mudhen loss today, this is what the standings look like now. Indianapolis leads the division. They're 35-24, 6-4 in their last 10. Louisville is 30-30, 5.5 out of 6-4 in the last 10. Toledo is now 29-32, 7 games out. It's now 5-5 in their last 10. They could still win this series. They could still win this series tomorrow, and Robbie Ray is on the hill for Toledo. It's a good chance for him to rebound after the horrible start he had against Charlotte last Sunday afternoon. Columbus rounded out the division. They are 28-31, 7 games out, 5-5 in the last 10. They're playing Gwinnett this evening at 6:35. So the Mudhens having some troubles as of late this afternoon, losing the game, but they can pick it up tomorrow with a win in Buffalo. The Stanley Cup Final has begun in LA, and last night was a beauty. It was a beautiful game. Great game to watch as well, too. The Rangers taking an early 1-0 lead. LA tying it up, and then the Rangers coming back and getting a 2-1 lead after 1 period of play. Then the Kings tying it up in the second to force overtime, and Justin Williams getting the game winner as the LA Kings beat the New York Rangers 3-2. Williams is 8th of the playoff route for the Rangers, his 11th of the playoffs. And Williams getting the game winner in overtime. Very good setup and very good goal. So now Game 2 will be a 2-day rest for these players, as Game 2 will be Saturday evening at 7:15 on NBC. The LA Kings leading the series 1-0. But tonight starts the tip-off to the NBA Finals, as the Miami Heat go for their three-peat tonight, as they'll take on the San Antonio Spurs at 9 o'clock on ABC. I'm taking San Antonio in 6. I don't think LeBron and the crew is ready for this. The momentum that San Antonio had after that OKC series, they look good. They look like the team that beat LeBron when they beat him in Cleveland. They look good. I like San Antonio. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker back in the lineup. Manu Ginobili back in the lineup. I'll pick San Antonio in 6. Put that to the bank. The Toledo Walleye schedule has been announced, and we're going to open up the season with the Cincinnati Cyclones, of course. And looking at the schedule, they're playing Orlando 3 times at home, 2 times down there. Indianapolis is the new team in the division in the Indianapolis field. I asked Mark Monroe about that, the beat writer for the Blade, and he has no idea how the new format's going to be. But here's my idea for the format. And I know if this might be a little bit out of the box. Okay. You keep Kalamazoo, Evansville, Fort Wayne, Indy. 4 teams. Okay. You either keep Toledo in the north. That'd be 5. Okay. So then in the other division, the other northeast division I call it, you have Elmira, Wheeling, and Reading. 3 teams. Add Cincinnati to the franchise. Makes it 4. Then you have a 5, 4, 4, 4 matchup. 5, 4, 5 matchup in the American Conference. Because in the other conference you have Gwinnett, Greenville, South Carolina, Florida, and Orlando. That's 5. You have 4 other teams. You would put Cincinnati, Elmira, Wheeling, and Reading. There's your other 4. And then in the north, you put Toledo, Kalamazoo, and the 3 Indy teams of Indianapolis, Evansville, and Fort Wayne. A 5-4-5 setup for Sandys would be great. That sets up a great matchup. 13, 14 teams in the conference battling out for 8 playoffs positions. Somebody's going to be left behind. Let's see what happens. Landon's go get this Walleye team back on the winning page. We'll see what happens with him. So the Walleye schedule is out. Get your season tickets. Of course, the Winterfest coming up well too. We'll cover that as well too. Mudhen tickets are available still. They're getting ready for their homestand. They'll get ready to take on the next homestand. They'll take on these Buffalo Bulls. Bison, my apologies. I keep saying the Bison. They're a very, 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 very interesting club out of the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate. We'll take them on and take on Scranton as well too. You can listen to all the games on 1230 WCWA on this 8-game road trip. So get out to the ballpark. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon today. Get out and enjoy it. It's going to be in the 70s, nice and warm. Get out there, get a tan. I have to go out there and put some bronze on my face. We'll see what happens. On tomorrow's program, we'll recap the Tiger game as well too, and previewing the weekend series as well as other topics, and break down the MLB series, the NBA playoffs, and key games to watch this weekend in Major League Baseball. I am Andy Alfred, and I hope you have a terrific afternoon. Come on, Tigers, pick up the victory today, and let's not get swept by the Canadian Birds. How about the Windians? While the Mudhens continue to struggle. Go, Kings, go! And love Texas, and let's go Spurs! Until tomorrow, I'm Andy Alfred. I hope you have a terrific day. And remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. The game of life. And to the teams behind me, and to you at home, victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for another edition of All Andy Alfred. Love you guys. Bye. Love you.